ever since I was playing Mini Planet on Facebook, scamming people out of their gold, and then using that gold to buy a jacuzzi and just totally update my in-game pad. I have always been captivated by games that give you player housing. Some people might call it a small feature, but it's definitely a little detail that always gets me just kind of up and going in some type of game. I want to get into a little bit of the housing mechanics in Ashes of Creation, but before we get into that, go ahead and just subscribe right now. Right now, subscribe. There are three main types of player housing: apartments, freeholds, and static housing. Apartments are instanced places within a node that increase in availability per a node's leveling, and if the mayor decides to use the open space to construct more apartment buildings. As availability for the apartments and other houses decreases, the price will increase. And that's just another example of how players can drive the economy in a given node. Your apartments can also be decorated, and there's even an in-game real estate system where players can buy and sell the deeds to different types of housing. All houses are destructible, and we'll get into a little bit of that later, but say if your node gets sieged, even if the siege isn't successful, if your apartment building gets destroyed, then there goes your apartment. The next type of player housing is freeholds. Freeholds can be built within the zone of influence of a stage 3 node and above, as long as they don't block any roads or other points of interest that might get in the way of players. They are limited to one per account, and as long as you have the blueprint and materials, you can actually build things like taverns, forges, and farmhouses. Freeholds are leveled up based off of what you do and produce in said area. They can act as businesses or residencies, and the opportunities within a freehold are pretty boundless. Freeholds can also be destroyed by other players after a successful siege on the zone of interest of the node that it is in. Freeholds are placed in the open world, and that's actually what really sets them apart from the apartments and the static housing within the node. The last type is static housing. Starting at stage 3, players can purchase static housing in a node, and these will also be priced off of availability. They give storage benefits and the ability to claim citizenship like other housing types in Ashes of Creation. In-node housing will scale based off of the progression of the node, and it's also going to be destructible like other buildings. It can even be scaled back or even destroyed depending on the circumstances. In Ashes of Creation, they want everything in the environment to be destructible, so make sure that you're smart and you invest in a solid node, because if you take all this time and effort going through and decorating your house and making it perfect, whether that be a freehold, whether that be an apartment or static housing in node, they can be destroyed, and all that work that you spent on decoration means nothing. Something that we have not seen in other games, which is kind of unique to Ashes of Creation, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I've kind of just gotten into this MMO thing, but this stuff really captivates me, so I really enjoy making content over it. It's the destructibility. So we don't see that a lot in other games, because when you have housing like, say, in Black Desert Online, where you can just buy an apartment in any type of node, and they're based off of just like you have just a ton of people in that one apartment building, and they're instanced kind of similar to Ashes of Creation, but those cannot be destroyed. So that's where I draw the line, because whenever something like that can be destroyed, there's a sense of purpose to it. There's a sense of, I want to protect my own house, and I think that that's what really sets Ashes of Creation apart in this instance when it comes to player housing. So you can do all the normal things that you can do, like store things, do decorations, and kind of just chill in your house, but they can also be destroyed. So it gives you a sense of, what do I need to do for my node so that it can progress to the highest level, so that I don't get destroyed or eaten up by a bigger army or a bigger node. And it's going to just make it to where if I want to invest in this node, I need to make sure that the leadership above me is willing to play the game and be active, so that if we get attacked, we can have a good response to it. And that's one of the things in Ashes of Creation that really draws me in, is just that never knowing whether or not what you've been working on for so long is just going to get destroyed and you're going to have to rebuild everything. So it's almost like Rust in a way. And I know I probably should not draw this comparison, but if you've been playing Rust, or if you've played Rust before, and you build this massive base and you have all these materials and you're going out with full kit and you're just destroying people PvP, and then you log off for a little bit, you get back on the game, your base is just gone. So that's one of those things in a game that is this is very unique for an MMO. You know, you build a node from the ground up, you get citizenship in it, you invest time, you grind on that node, and you build your character around that node. If it's destroyed, your player housing, if it's destroyed, you're going to have to just rebuild everything. So you want to make sure that you get it in a good place. You got good people around. They're not just going to be just doing wars for no reason. That's probably how this is going to end up, is just all sorts of wars for no reason. But it definitely does provide a unique in-game loop that I think I will love to be a part of. If you guys enjoyed this video, if I missed anything, put it in the comments below. Make sure you leave a like and just go ahead and click subscribe. It's free. Like I said, you can unsubscribe if you don't like me. Bye.